Okay, we're on example number 7 here. Working on step number 6, evaluating premises on the basis of relevance. We've got some more premises than in some of our earlier examples. So I'm going to make a little space by making the text box with the argument in it a little bit smaller. And let's make a text box over here and make that bigger. Okay. Again, just relevance. For all intents and purposes, I'm just going to assume that the claims are acceptable. The question is, do they matter? Starting at the bottom of the argument, let's ask whether these each independently are relevant to 8. 11. The hardbacks have low quality bindings. Is that relevant to premise number 8? And I would say yes, that's relevant. The quality of the bindings speaks to the overall quality of the books, since the bindings are an important part of the books. And I suspect I'm going to say similar things as I go along. The quality of the paper speaks to the overall quality of the books, since the paper is an important part of the books. 9. They're disposable. I would say relevant. Disposable objects are, by and large, not made well, since they are not intended to last for long. Great. Okay, I'm going to go over here. A civilization that reads electronically need not be any less literate. Does that mean that the move towards digital reading need not result in less literacy? And I would say 6 is relevant. If a certain change in reading habits doesn't necessarily mean that a civilization will be less literate, then the overall levels of literacy ought not to be changed by that change. I don't like the change. Ought not to be affected by that change. Okay, let's go over here. 8 and 12 are dependent, so I have to evaluate them in terms of relevance as a group. Currently, books are not made well. If we do most of our reading on screen, we may start improving the quality of books. Therefore, the move towards digital reading may improve the quality of physical books. And I would say 8 and 12 together are relevant. 8 describes the current state of books as lacking in quality, and 12 claims that a certain change in reading habits may improve the very lack of quality mentioned in 8. Since 3 is about the effects, potential effects of the change mentioned in 12, and specifically effects that have to do with the quality mentioned in 8, then both are relevant. Again, those always sound a little bit awkward. Just make sure they're accurate and don't worry if they sort of flow nicely on the page. Okay. Now let's go up to these subarguments. We're going to have to consider 2 and 4 as a unit, as 2 dependent premises. The move toward digital reading need not result in less literacy. Book lovers value literacy. Therefore, it could be a positive development for book lovers. I think these are relevant. Premise 2 claims that a move toward digital reading will not have a specific negative effect. And premise 4 claims that book lovers care about that particular possible effect. Since the conclusion is about whether book lovers should be concerned about a move toward digital reading, these 2 premises are relevant. All right, let's move on to 3 and 5. It's going to be very similar, right? 3, just like 2, is talking about a potential negative effect and how digital reading won't have it. 5, just like 4, says that book lovers care about that particular natural effect. So I'm going to just copy this because I think the logic is exactly the same. Just change the premise numbers, 3 and 5. Double check. Yep, that's good. And we've done all the premises, and of course we never evaluate the conclusion. Good, so that's done.